Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's good to be with you on a gorgeous Monday across Charlottesville, Albemarle County, Central Virginia, and the world. Fantastic program lined up for you. Rachel Burns in the house, Rob Alley in the house, real estate agents extraordinaire. We will spotlight their evolution in the business, in the industry, their evolution as a team, and how their dynamic works. On the court and off the court as well. We'll talk Charlottesville from a business standpoint, hot neighborhoods, restaurants, what zip codes are blowing up. These people know it inside and out. Rachel, I think, epitomizes long-term Charlottesville, undoubtedly, born and bred. Rob Alley, I'm excited to learn more about your background in the community as well. Let's thank some of the people that make the program possible first. We will give some love to one of our favorite clients, Intrastate Pest and Service Companies. We are their proud ad agency of record. This is a 4-generation strong business. It started in 1969 with one man, his name Mr. Wells, and one truck. He would go to his first home, service it successfully, and find the closest payphone in 1969 and call his second customer. Today it has 4 generations in the mix, almost 100 employees, a Commonwealth-wide footprint with an office in Richmond, the Shenandoah Valley, and the headquarters right around the corner from Bodo's on Harris. They are making Charlottesville and the Commonwealth and Central Virginia a better place for all of us. We salute Intrastate Pest and Service Companies, and we also salute the good doctor, Scott Wagner of Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. We love working alongside his brand as well. Who's got your back? Dr. Wagner's got your back. Sports medicine, physical therapy, and chiropractic care. Camryn Taylor, welcome to the show. Andre Xavier from CVille Hop-On Tours is watching right now. We have 3 bankers watching right now. I wonder whose influence that is. Yeah. Rachel and Rob. Why don't we go to the studio cam and let's welcome Rachel and Rob to the show. Rachel, hello.
Hello.
Rob, hello.
Hello.
Nice to have you guys here. We're going to start with you. Before we talk business, before we talk how you pay the bills and how you make people happy with being a badass real estate agent, let's spotlight you, the woman, you, the Charlottesvillian, and talk about passions, hobbies, and interests for Rachel Burns.
All right. So, born and bred Charlottesville. Never left, never plan on leaving. Both of my parents have been in real estate here. My dad for 42 years, mom for over 35. So real estate's definitely in the blood. That's not going to change anytime soon. Passions, food, all about the food, the wine, the whiskey. Those are my favorites by far. And then my hobby, and we call it my unpaid career, is volunteer work, primarily with AHIP, who I know has been on the show.
Yes.
And you have supported, so thanks for that.
You set up that interview.
I did indeed.
Talk to us. Let's plug AHIP. Talk to us about what you love about AHIP.
So if you're not familiar with AHIP, it's a local housing nonprofit. They help homeowners in Charlottesville and Albemarle County in need of home repairs. And it might be emergency repairs, it might be energy efficient upgrades, it might be handicap retrofitting. But they do amazing work in Charlottesville and Albemarle. And I like raising money, I like planning parties for them, I like swinging a hammer with them. We do currently have a matching grant going on through the end of June, dollar for dollar. All funds will be matched up to $60,000, so please donate.
I love it.
ahipva.org.
I love it. And also some experience at some of the restaurants in our fine town, Rachel Burns.
Yes, I am a retired restaurant gal, but I'm still at them 6
all the time.
days a week,
Yeah.
So hasn't really changed much. I was at the Aberdeen Barn for over 10 years. I did a year at Moss, and I did a year at Bizou. And I love food. I love people. So restaurants to real estate is very natural. So
I love it.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's awesome. Turn that entire thing into her first sizzle reel. That's a good snapshot of Rachel Burns. Travis Elliott, Mick Markley, Michael Beckham,
yay.
Nathan Dotson. What up, what up, what up? Leslie Gorday, hello. Stacy Von Norris in Greene County, hello. Camryn Taylor, hello. 4 real estate firms now watching on this program. We will get to you guys. Like and share the stream on any of them that you're watching. Rob Alley, my boy, you are now in the mix right here. Same question for you. Passions, hobbies, and interests before we get to the business, Rob.
Okay. Well, I'm a Charlottesville transplant.
Okay.
I grew up in a military family. Both my parents were in the Army. So we moved all over the country before I went to high school at Albemarle. Myself and both of my brothers are Eagle Scouts.
Nice.
And that was a requirement in our family, by the way, to have a driver's license.
Wow.
We were not allowed to have our learner's permit until we were Eagle Scouts, so all three of us did it by 16.
That's tough.
Yeah, it is. And then I went away for a little while to college, and this is not going to be popular, but I went to Virginia Tech. And an interesting side note of our family, my dad went to Virginia Tech, and my mother went to UVA.
Okay.
So we've always been a divided household.
Okay.
And eventually,
She's converted.
mother switched. All three of us went to Tech, so she puts maroon on game day. Sorry to anybody who's a UVA fan.
No problem. No problem. There's a lot of Hokies in Charlottesville and Central Virginia.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But after college, I moved back here and started my real estate career at 25.
How'd you get in the real estate game?
So that's a funny story. I was running a nightclub.
Uh-huh. Which one?
It was down in Blacksburg.
Okay.
I had not left the town yet. And it was actually my family that had a kind of a come to Jesus moment at Christmas dinner at grandmother's house, where they suggested that I go into real estate. I had had a couple of jobs in sales before, and I was pretty good at it. And it was time to grow up. So when the family steps up, you kind of listen.
And what was that? They're like, Rob, you got so many skills here. Let's get out of the nightclub game. Let's get out of the partying game. Is that what it was? Because I would have loved to run a nightclub. I know you would have.
It
loved it, right?
It was a blast. Don't get me wrong.
Say.
But that belongs in your younger 20s.
Got it.
And there was a time to grow up, and staying up till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning cleaning up somebody else's mess after you throw a party gets a little old too.
I love it. I love it. What do you love about real estate?
Well, everything is different. Every house, every person, anytime you walk into a door, it's going to be a completely different experience. It's never dull. It's always changing. That's my favorite part about real estate.
I love it. Sizzle reel that. Start to finish. That's 2 in the bag right there. All right, now let's just have a free-flowing discussion. No rules. Interrupt, cut in. 3 people at the bar, shooting the shit, having a good time. Okay? Veronica Marie Lay says you are awesome, Rachel Burns.
That's my cousin from Italy.
She's giving you, so she's watching in
in
Italy right now.
yeah.
People in Italy
Hi.
watching right now. Novi Barons watching right
Yeah.
now. Mitchell?
She just walked by
across-
outside.
Yeah, by the front door.
She's awesome.
Hi, Novi.
She's awesome. What's up, Novi? Like and share the stream here. All right. Let's talk about the game here. Let's talk about the day job. Rachel, throw you in the mix first. What you love about what you do, what you love about working with Remax, working with Rob.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, I love real estate. I love being able to help people, especially when people buy their first house. It's the biggest thing they've ever done. It's the biggest purchase they've ever made. And, being able to be a part of it and to guide them through it is so satisfying. At Remax, so my dad is the broker. Rob actually knew Dad before I knew Rob. It's very much a family business. You mentioned GR. He's my dad's business partner. His son is an agent over in the Valley. His daughter is a loan officer with Movement Mortgage in her office.
Cool.
My aunt is our office manager. So it's a big family. I mean, so many of our agents have been with us for 10, 20 years. It really is a family, and we get to work together every day. It's pretty cool.
I love it. Jayon
Yeah.
Toff, watching in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
Welcome to the program. Give it a like, give it a share. Ryan at Citizen Burger Bar, also of Disco Risque, watching right now. How about this question here? I mean, you guys are a dynamic team. You guys, you stack up some sales every year. Let me ask this question, and I do the same working with my wife. How about working with a significant other? Who wants to handle that one right there?
Go ahead, Rob. Let's see how you do.
That's no easy task.
So this setup is actually kind of beautiful because the things that she's good at, I'm not particularly good at, and the things that I'm really good at, she's not particularly good at.
I'm good at everything. What are you talking about?
Of course. But it complements each other very well.
It does.
So it just makes everything more efficient, more free-flowing. And at this point, I feel like we're getting 3 times more done than we were a couple years ago.
I love that. Same for you.
Yeah, it's very true. We cover each other's weaknesses very well, which has been great. For me, I'm the one that wants to. Rob would rather be in front of a computer, let's put it that way. I'm the one that wants to interact with people. I'm really the one that wants to be out there. I volunteer for everything. I'm on every board, all that stuff. Rob is my support system. He comes to every event and he packs every car for everything, and he's always prepared. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Jeff Hoover, hello.
Hi.
Where's my shout out? Rachel Burns. He says, I love these two.
He better.
Robbie Stone is watching right now.
Nice.
The Brewmaster, right? Watching right now. How about this? You guys have got to crush a listing appointment. I mean,
great.
Walk through like the first hand of you guys at a listing appointment. Who's in the house? What are you guys doing to get a listing? Talk to me about that.
Take it, babe.
So I'm pretty efficient at generating leads online. So a lot of times that we're going into a listing appointment.
You got it locked down?
Well, not really,
Okay.
because if they're finding me online, they're finding other people online, and I'm not oblivious to that.
Okay.
So normally there's pretty significant competition. And then one of the things that we do really well, we've created a listing package that's highlighting the two of us and the things that we can do to sell a property. Obviously, RE/MAX has a very long history of success, so
Huge brand.
Yeah, we tend to leverage that as well. And then we just go in and we're ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? We're prepared. We're confident in the numbers that we're about to do. So the rest of it, it's a relationship game, and it's a long game. So you're an internet lead. You're there the first time. You're starting to build a relationship. You need to build that rapport. Where you're going to go from there, and then talk about selling the property.
Well, and that's another reason that we work well together is because somebody might respond far better to Rob's spreadsheets and numbers, or somebody might respond better to my big bubbly personality.
That's true.
So, it's a good balance.
I feel like it's such a good dynamic. You guys like finish each other's sentences. You guys play off each other so well. I mean, immediately, and I've met with you guys a number of times, immediately, like I feel comfortable and at ease, and like you guys are just super chill. Rob Holzer says, what up? Welcome to the program. This is a question for you, because you're like an online virtuoso here. I mean, the online game and this game has changed the industry
Absolutely.
hugely. I mean, a lot of times, and I want to speak for everybody, I'm getting up to speed in a lot of properties that I'm finding online and saying, look, let's talk about this one.
Right.
As opposed to maybe like 25, 30 years ago, pre-internet, when all the listings were in a book.
The
That's
phone
right.
book.
A book, right?
It was very hard to take those away from my father
Right.
when they finally died. He had closets full of the giant phone books of real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, and the books in a lot of ways caused the industry to have a massive evolution, and some of the agents couldn't do it, and then some of the agents became you guys and are crushing it because of it. Talk to us about that.
So years ago, when everything was changing over, I was at Roy Wheeler at the time, and they kept a bunch of those books.
Yeah.
Right. And every morning the admins would come in and update it, and you'd have it. Then there was a point in time before the IDX. I was literally hand entering every listing we would get into Zillow and Trulia and Backpage and Craigslist, knowing that market was not really being tapped with the way that real estate was going. So the other benefit is I'm a first generation Facebook user. In fact, when I graduated college, I got kicked off of Facebook because I no longer had a college email address, which
.edu.
was which was a requirement at the time.
Right.
And then I came back to
Me
Facebook
too.
when they opened it up.
Yeah.
So I've been using Facebook since, my teens.
It was a huge advantage because at the time, I remember when Facebook was becoming so ubiquitous, and I similar to you, have that businessman type of mindset and tendency.
Right.
I'm like, holy shit, this is so much effing potential right now
It is.
that we can leverage, where everybody else was doing it to send check on girls
Right.
or guys.
Where's
and,
the next party?
What's
Of
the next
course.
party
Yep.
going on here? Fred Smith says, hello, Rachel Burns.
Oh,
Is he
hi.
watching in Williamsburg?
Yeah,
Kingsville Realty?
So the Virginia Association of Realtors every year puts on a leadership academy, and there are 12 agents throughout the state, and Fred is in my leadership academy class, so we get to see each other in a couple weeks. I'm really excited.
I love it. Fred Smith, 708 Fairfax Way, my old home in Kings Mill off Fairfax Woods. Welcome to the show. Nikki Wooten Chambliss, welcome to the program. Throw this to you. How have you seen the internet game mix things up?
I mean, it's completely changed everything. Rob is the internet master. I'm not going to lie. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. When it comes to the internet, Rob has always been ahead of the game instead of playing catch up like a lot of real estate agents, because the internet is not our specialty. We're real estate agents. Rob's always been right there in front of it, though. So
Novi says, we love you both. Me and Mochi and Nips are watching this from home right now. Is that the dogs?
That's the dogs.
Those are the dogs?
Yeah,
Both dogs.
Mochi and Nipples.
All right,
Yes.
Mochi and Nipples.
Yes.
I love those names. Nikki says, hi, Rachel and Rob. I love you guys. Give it a like, give it a share. If you'd like a message to relay to Rob and Rachel, I'm happy to do it. Just put it in the chat box wherever you are watching. Let's spotlight your niche in real estate. Your niche in real estate is, I like it. It's hyper-targeted. Talk to me about that a little bit.
So from the online perspective, it's really about monitoring trends. Where's the next group coming from? You can kind of see right now everything's moving away from Facebook and towards Instagram.
Yeah.
For millennials, Instagram is going to be the next hot thing that pops off. And I just gave everybody away the first secret, but it's true. You need to start focusing there because you talk to most agents, almost everybody says they love working with first-time home buyers, and that's going to be the place to go find them, right?
Yeah.
Like the Zillow's still going to be there.
You think Zillow will still be there?
I think it's going to be there for a while. Right now, it's kind of the whole too big to fail mantra.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be there for a little while, just like the banks maintained after they crashed and burned, and we just got through that a couple of years ago.
I love your skill sets because they're complementary, like you said. You're born and raised in Charlottesville, literally I'm going to say this, almost like a mayor in Charlottesville. You know so many freaking people. Really, that's so true. And I can see that by who's interacting with the stream here. When you started seeing it evolve to kind of like this iPhone, internet, social media type game, were you trepid? Were you nervous? Because you're this.
Yeah.
And relationships.
Yep.
And hugs and knowing people. And everyone in this town, the longer we're spending is 2 degrees removed. For you, it's probably
Absolutely.
1 degree removed.
So for me personally, because I am a Charlottesville girl, I will tell you, I've never gotten the majority of my business using any online platform. Right. My business really, truly is very organic just because this is my town, this is my home. So I've never had to rely on that as a source of, as a source of business. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that I'm lucky. If I were a brand new agent getting into the business right now, that was not from Charlottesville, things would be very, very different for me. But because I've been around, because I have personal relationships, I have not had to play the internet game as much, which yay for me, and yay I have Rob.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
Yasmin Vayu?
Yeah.
You got her last name?
Yes.
Yasmin's watching right now.
Hi, Yas. Client, friend. I've known her since elementary school.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
John Updike, Michael Guthrie watching the program right now.
Hi,
give it a
guys.
like. Give it a share on any of the streams that you're watching. Rob, how are you seeing Central Virginia's pockets evolve to hotspots and to potential weak spots? I mean, the city of Charlottesville's got limited inventory, 10.27 square miles of real estate,
Right.
Price points through the roof because supply and demand, inventory is so low, demand is high, that's going to drive price points up. Albemarle County, the urban ring, I mean, same thing. People want the Albemarle County school system. They want to live close to the epicenter of employment, which is the city of Charlottesville. Maybe as you get deeper into Albemarle, say Barbersville, say Scottsville, say Earlysville, you can find lower price points for sure, but that urban ring is still pretty high. Open-ended question, anywhere you want to go, Central Virginia in totality, then let's talk specifics.
Okay, well, everything's cyclic. So you're right. Right now, if you get anything anywhere near the downtown area and you price it correctly, it's going to fly off the shelf. It's just because there's nothing else that's there, right? So when you only have one house to choose from, everybody's going to line up and go for that. Then you kind of see pockets around it that are becoming hot, going up the 29 corridor into Green.
Yeah.
The location is still good. You can get all the way down here in 20 minutes if you needed to. So pockets like that are really popping off. Lake Monticello is always popular when the city of Charlottesville prices increase very high because it's not too far away.
People are starting to consider Waynesboro,
Oh,
too,
yeah.
which, 10 years ago, that felt forever away. And now Waynesboro is common commuter.
Why do you think that is? Because of the proximity to 64 and the price point?
Both,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You can still buy a good amount of house over in Waynesboro, and it's an easy drive.
Compare and contrast specs in Waynesboro, price point, lot size, square footage, bedrooms and baths, to say like a city of Charlottesville for what you can get.
Oh my gosh, there's no comparison.
double? Is it triple?
There's no comparison.
Okay.
I would say it's
Easily.
at least double.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then depending on where in Charlottesville, probably triple.
So what's like a 400,000 get you in Waynesboro? Because 400,000 is probably what the entry in the city of Charlottesville.
The last
High
$400,000 house I sold in Waynesboro is 4,000 square feet on 5 acres.
Damn. Yeah.
Right? You even talk about that in Albemarle County.
Yeah.
You're going much higher than 400.
Yeah.
So the last flip we did in Waynesboro, it was a 2,000 square foot house, 200 grand, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, true master on the first floor. You find that in Charlottesville, you're 500,000 for that kind of house.
Rod Brunel, welcome to the show. Cynthia Viejo, welcome to the program. Give it a like, give it a share. A lot of agents watching right now.
Crazy.
Throw this to you guys.
Sure.
Throw this to you guys. Does it make you nervous at all? Obviously, probably not for your business, because this is good for your business. Does it make you nervous at all, the trajectory the city of Charlottesville is heading with price points, limited inventory? I mean, this is like evolving into San Francisco here.
Yes, but I think at some point we're in for another market correction.
You think so?
I do. At some point, it's not going to be sustainable. I think it's going to be within the next couple of years, but a lot of that's not in our control. Right? What's the Fed going to do? How are the mortgage rates going to respond? Those types of things that we don't necessarily control, we can only react to. But I can't tell you, when you're sitting around looking at things that are selling at $320 a square foot, at some point it's not sustainable.
I mean, a good example of this, and I'm going to get out of the way, a good example of this is what? Corn's development between Beer Run and C&O, the C&O townhomes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 3-4 level townhomes. And then granted, it's brand new construction, $1.2 million plus.
Yeah.
And dude, they're selling again now.
That's right.
And Baldwin's core development on Water Street across from C&O is effing crushing it right now as well.
That's right.
And anything it seems like around the mall is going bananas here. Thoughts on the topic in general, Rachel Burns?
I think that, like Rob said, at some point it's going to correct itself, slow down. You can't keep going the rate that we're going forever. The conversation about affordable housing in Charlottesville is now being brought up more and more on your show.
Yeah.
But the conversations here and the projects are coming. Habitat houses in Laughlin Hill. We've got the Thomas Jefferson land area. They're redoing Friendship Court. Like all of these things, I'm very glad to see, because as traditional real estate just keeps climbing, we're pricing everybody out of the area. And I think it's really important that those projects, to keep the people that, that work at our restaurants, that work at our hospitals, they need a place to live too. So I'm glad to see some of these projects happening. And I truly just don't think, people can't afford to live in the city if everything's $300 a square foot. That's crazy.
Justin Toff, welcome to the show. Yeah. You're a perfect person to throw this question to.
Sure.
Because you're born and raised in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the days of working in a restaurant, where it was like grinding every day.
Yep.
And now you're kind of the flip side of the coin.
Yep.
And that you're a successful businesswoman who has got a real estate career that's blowing up, and higher price points are good for commissions. So you got kind of both sides of the coin here. How do you look at it? Does the capitalist in you and the businesswoman in you is like higher prices, higher prices, higher prices? And then you clearly are a social entrepreneur with what you're doing with AHIP and giving back to the community. So clearly making Charlottesville better and leaving the footprint better is extremely important to you. Yeah. Are you torn on this topic?
For me, it's not a difficult one.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's great to sell $1 million house, but at the same time, for me personally, it's almost more satisfying to sell the $250,000 house. That's just the way that I feel about it. Like I said, a big commission is great, but if it changes the vibe of the Charlottesville community, it's not worth it to me. And so many of my friends still work in restaurants. So many of my friends are young entrepreneurs and trying to make it. And, if they get priced out of Charlottesville, the fabric of Charlottesville just completely changes.
That's a fabulous answer.
I wouldn't want to see that happen.
Fabulous answer. Thoughts on that one, that topic?
So I think the key word there is infrastructure, right? And that's both with housing and socially. Right? I mean, for every doctor, you have to have a janitor, or we have a problem. And she's right. If you price the janitors out of the market, we're going to have a problem. So those are things that you need to look for, both in maintaining affordable housing and then realistically pricing properties to keep everything going smoothly.
I love this. I love this topic. How about the Belmont neighborhood? Did you live in Belmont?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I just sold a house down on Nassau Street a month ago.
Okay.
So yeah, I've lived everywhere. I've lived Fluvanna, Green, Louisa, Charlottesville, Albemarle, and multiple times. So I've done my tours around town.
How about we spotlight Belmont? Alexander Elliott, welcome to the show. Brian Radeski, thank you for watching. Justin Toff is giving you props, says Rachel rocks. Yeah. Kim Tolliver says nobody works harder than Rachel and Rob. Hey, that's
awesome.
What you said.
Thanks,
right
guys.
Now. Give it a like, give it a share. I lived in the Belmont neighborhood post UVA, first place out of the bubble, circa 2005.
Okay.
And then this is when the neighborhood was still very much like gentrifying, and it was like still very like blue collar, if you may. And before like every single yuppie in America purchased the real estate, dumped a bunch of money into it, and then turned it into like 400,000 to 700,000 neighborhood. The guys down the street, I lived on Little Graves behind Spud Nuts. The guys down the street from me were very working class guys in the construction category, had a shed in the backyard, and that shed, they put a pool table in there, and 5 nights a week would pound like a couple racks of Budweiser, among other things. While listening to me,
great.
it was all. I was down
Sounds
there as well.
wonderful.
I was down
Are
there
they still
as well.
there?
They're not there anymore now. I think it's like a $600,000 home
Okay.
because it was on a half-acre lot. So I'm down there partying with these guys, and I'm like, this is so strange because like here, this is going on, and 2 doors down is this like doctor who likes walking to UVA Hospital from Belmont, and he just dropped $400,000 and put another $100K into it. Let me throw this to you, Rob, and you have a lot of perspective to offer because you're also in the home flipping business. Belmont's evolution, Rob Alley, talk to me about that.
Well, so that's kind of a difficult question because a lot of people inherently in Belmont, even when the house needs work, it is mismanaged for a little while. It comes on way overpriced, and sometimes they get it. And that's kind of a scary thought because now you most likely have somebody going into a property thinking they can fix these things, and then we'll see if they can pull it off. When we had the market crash before, there were a lot of people that didn't. The house is in worse condition than when they overpaid for it the first time, and that creates the pendulum swings the other way. And what we want to do is prevent it from swinging all the way back here. We want it to stop back down here somewhere. We want realistic, not so far negative as it was in 08. But we did mention that cycle before. You can look back at, I only went to the 80s because I was born in 1980, but there was a gas crisis in the 80s. We had a foreclosure crisis in the 90s. We had another one in the mid-2000s. If you look at that calendar, we're on schedule. You know what I mean? So we want to do some things that are smart. So when people are going into fixed properties, one of the reasons I like working with younger homeowners is they've got a lot of go-get-em kind of attitude, right? I can go in here, I can go fix this, I can do the cabinets myself, fine, but I want to help you do that, right? Talk to me about things that you're going to do that are going to get the good results as opposed to these things that no one's going to like in 5 years when you need to sell the property. Because you can get carried away with that. Same thing when you're picking contractors. You need to make sure you're picking contractors that are doing realistic things. There are a number of contractors that can go out and literally do anything, and that's so cool. That doesn't apply to every house, though. So you need to be careful on the things that you're doing, particularly in Belmont.
What do you think? That was a good answer.
Yeah, you did good. Touching on the very last thing that you said, definitely seeing some folks that want to get in the door and buy something that needs some work and make some poor decisions along the way, whether it be choosing the wrong renovations, choosing the wrong contractor, biting off more than they can chew, having bad taste, because that's happened, So, it's, and then they're left with this house that nobody wants or whatever, and I hate to see that happen because, everybody thinks that they're a flipper now. Because of thanks HGTV.
Yeah, HGTV.
My job is really easy, and everyone can flip houses.
Right.
Didn't you know?
It's ridiculous. It's so
HGTV
unfair.
taught us that.
Yeah.
So I always like to make sure that folks are getting good advice when they're going into older neighborhoods and older homes and trying to take on a project. I've been that person. I've
flipped.
But I've taken on projects that were bigger than I should have.
Tell me about that. Personal for yourself? Or
yes,
investment?
That later became investment.
Okay.
Started out as a personal residence, though. We remodeled the first floor of Rob's house primarily ourselves, and we did 70 to 80% of the work ourselves.
Damn.
So, it was it was 3 months of 18+ hour days between work and home renovations. That's pretty crazy. So I have the capability to do it, but when you bite off a job that's that big, you lose a lot of other things. So it's really just making the right decisions about.
Is there any, and we got a lot of people watching here. Welcome to the show, Terry Cadell. Terry and Ray watching right now. Thank you for sharing, both Terry and Ray. We appreciate you sharing the show right now. Throw this out there. You have really good insight on this. Has the time of flipping homes in the city of Charlottesville now pieced out because of the price point?
It's certainly slowed down because of the price point.
Yeah.
Your entry level, it's a risk reward type thing.
What is the entry level? Is it, you said high threes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a lot of the things, particularly still talking Belmont, yeah. There are a couple of listings on the market right now. They need full renovations, and they're asking $200 a square foot, right? And so if your max is $300 a square foot and you need to go drop $100,000 in that, your risk reward from an investment standpoint is just not there.
Where's that, Fifeville neighborhood?
No, that one's the one I'm specifically talking about right now is right off of Meade Avenue.
Okay.
So there's one there.
Good neighborhood.
It is. It's a great neighborhood,
yeah.
And it's a fantastic. In fact,
I've
you
got
just put one under contract
yeah.
there, right around the same numbers we're talking about, and that one thankfully was already renovated. But to go in entry level at $200 a square foot, I mean, when you break down the money you need to make from an investment standpoint to flip a property, and the risk you have, because let's be real, you're going to take down this one wall, and you're going to find another $10,000 worth of work.
Yeah, you have no idea what's behind that wall.
And so you need to be able to navigate that.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, so there are a couple of them that are screaming for, I need to be repaired, but they're flat out asking too much money for it to get started.
What do you think, Rachel?
I think he's absolutely correct. Especially when people are not experienced flippers, the budget that you have in your head is never what it ends up being. Right. And your margins are just shrinking and shrinking the entire time. And, people end up breaking even, losing money because they have this big plan in their mind that's just not attainable. So have a good real estate agent. Have a good contractor.
Tyler Payne, welcome to the program. James Stockton, Bo, what up, dog? New owner of Michael's Bistro.
New owner of Michael's Bistro.
Bo,
Congrats,
I am
Bo.
so impressed with you, Bo. You're welcome on the show anytime you want.
We could do that.
Can we give Bo some love?
Yes, I love you, Bo.
Yeah, Bo, you're the freaking man. I worked with Bo for the first time circa 2000 at Ruby Tuesdays.
Oh, no kidding.
2001. And we got into some trouble together and had a lot of really good times together.
I've known Bo since I was 16, so I've gotten in a little bit of trouble with Bo.
Okay. Bo is now the proud restaurateur behind Michael's Bistro on the corner. I'm so impressed. A lot of agents watching right now. Let's give some love also to Tyler Payne. Uzo is watching right now. Lauren Linsky's watching right now. Open-ended question. City of Charlottesville, Albemarle County. Hot pocket neighborhoods where you're going to get in a crew the best return in the shortest amount of time possible.
Ooh.
What are you thinking?
Go, Rob.
Well, I mean, in the city is no doubt Belmont, hands down. Anything close to the mall, hands down.
I do think that Fifeville is still, there's some good opportunities to be had in Fifeville, and that's a purchase you're never going to regret.
And that's up and coming really quickly. There was a point in time, there were some of those streets back in high school you just did not walk down, and that's not the case anymore. So that neighborhood is really on the up and comings at the moment.
One of my buddies, who we all know, Curtis Shaver, has a home on Knoll Street, and we went to his house this past Saturday and walked from there to the downtown mall. Literally took us less than 10 minutes.
Yep.
He's on like .4. Has a fabulous backyard.
Nice.
Oh
That's
my
a nice
God,
lot.
dude!
Very
It was
cool.
so nice.
Very cool.
I mean, it's still got the street needs a little more like what's the right word? Maybe TLC, if you may.
So yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
That's why you can still get a good deal there. But I will tell you, and AHIP plays into this. I've done AHIP jobs working in neighborhoods where you might not have anything nice to say about the street. The people are kind as can be.
That's true.
So, a house might look like it needs some love, but that doesn't mean the people that are inside of it are, not wonderful. So, even if a street might not seem the safest, I don't know.
What do you think, Rob Alley?
No, I agree with her statement. This will be cycling back around. Everything's about relationships.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't build a relationship without talking to people.
How about Albemarle County?
So Albemarle County, I think for example, Forest Lakes is always going to be popular for families. It is
Why is
always
that?
going to be popular. Well, one, I think the way it was built as the neighborhood here. I'm not going to get into specific builders, but as the neighborhood structure was fantastic, right? And you can look around at some of the other HOAs, and I'm going to use the word affordable, but for example, over in Four Seasons on Ryle Road, actually costs more in an HOA than it does in Forest Lakes.
Yeah.
And Forest Lakes has 2 pools, walking paths, multiple lakes,
Bike trails.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tennis courts, basketball courts. They're around the corner from an elementary school. They have another elementary school and a middle school right there connected to Hollymead. I mean, it's a hotspot for a family. It's right around the corner from the NGIC. A bunch of other things that have been opening or creating jobs. The North Fork of the UVA Research Park is up there. So there's a lot of things about that. And Ryan Holmes kind of caught on to that. They just did a new section of Briarwood for townhouses, and that's been very popular. So I think location and the way that development was done is the reason why that one's very hot.
How about outside AC, Albemarle County and Charlottesville? Which counties are you seeing blowing up? You touched on it a little bit with Greene. We're seeing Zion's Crossroads like freaking explode.
Oh, yeah.
Louisa Spring Creek is freaking exploding. I mean, what are you seeing, Rachel Burns? Is good money, short term, and then maybe you put your money in this area and you're going to get some good return like Zion's Crossroads was maybe, say, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think Louisa, Gordonsville area definitely has the potential, maybe not for a quick buck, but for a long-term investment. You know, for people looking for affordable housing, Lake Monticello still has some of the most affordable housing that there is.
Right. What kind of price points are we talking?
I mean, they start in the 200s. I mean, and go up from there, don't get me wrong, depending on what you need, but it's a great place to live. My dad has lived out there since I was 16. He loves it out there. I mean, it's a great place for, if you've got a family, it's still a great place to live. There's lots to do, and yeah.
Well, commercially, it's growing up around that subdivision. Everything that's going on outside of that has a big return. And then you have subdivisions like Sycamore Square just outside the lake, and that's doing well. And you can get in there for a couple of the homes mid-twos, but the bulk of them are selling right there in the 350 range, which is a very positive sign for Fluvanna County.
Yeah.
How about, I'm going to throw this to you. Chris Johnson, welcome to the show. What's up, Kyle Urban? Thank you for joining us. Fifth Street and Avon Extended, say 20 years ago, throw this to you, and then say now. I mean, with Fifth Street Station.
I'm mind blown. Again, I'm a Charlottesville girl.
You
so
remember.
I remember
Yeah.
when like none of any of this stuff was here. That blows my mind. And people actually take into consideration how far from Wegmans am I when they're buying a house. It's insane. You know, all the apartments that they're putting up, they're not cheap. They're really not cheap.
Fifth Street Place?
Yeah. It's a little mind-blowing for me, but I mean, good for them if you can get it. And Fifth Street Station is hugely attractive to people. So,
Right.
that, you know, they've done something great there. I just never thought that would be a thing.
I mean, Corin is like a visionary. Corin Capshaw. I'm going to throw Corin Capshaw to you guys shortly. Your take on what's happening down Avon and Fifth.
So I like it a lot. In fact, we can use one property as a perfect example.
Okay.
In 08 or 09, I had a listing on Rockland Avenue.
Where's
Right-
that?
It's right going on Avon, going up towards Wegmans.
Okay.
Right? So
Good spot.
Rockland Avenue is on the left, and I had a listing there, and it was a foreclosure property. The house needed a ton of work.
We bought
So
it.
Rachel and her dad brought the investor that came in, and they fixed up the house, and they resold the house. Well, Michelle Pike just recently brought the property back on, and I just brought the buyer to it. Right, so this 10-year history on this one house, basically right here at this table, and then to include Michelle Pike. And back when I sold it, I think I sold it originally, it's $140,000.
Yeah, I
think.
want to say like 138, 148
It was
is the
somewhere
number
in
that
that
sticks in my
ballpark.
head.
And then they came in and they rehabbed the property and they resold it. And I think they got $240 for it at the time, $250.
Nice return. I guess it depends on what they put into it.
Yep,
But I
yep.
bet they got a good return.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then I just brought the buyer this last time, and it was upper threes.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
And
crazy.
So the effect that development has had in that area is massive.
That is
Massive.
massive. That's
Yep.
a 10-year
10
year.
history of that. at Charlottesville?
Just
and
that
over
one- just
over
that one
200
house.
over $200,000 value gained in that house.
Yep.
Golly,
Nuts.
Neil Williamson, welcome to the
Hi,
program.
Neil.
Neil's good people.
Neil's great people.
How about the development around Blue Moon Diner? Now, these are apartments.
Again, mind-blowing for me. Really quick,
Sure.
I want to back up.
Yeah.
The worst thing about Fifth Street Station is
Yeah.
trying to get into it. It's
That's-
horrible.
That's true. Especially
They've
around,
got to figure that out.
especially around Wendy's and the gas station.
That's right.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
little area is a nightmare. Getting out
You
of that
can't get out of the gas station.
And that's the gas station I use all the time. You
Yep.
cannot get out of the gas station. It is
Yep.
a nightmare. And there's still, interestingly, some empty parcels in Fifth Street Station that have not been filled.
Correct.
Which may be more of an indication of brick and mortar retail being dinosauric than not having demand there.
Well, and I'm sure the price point that they're at,
Oh, it's
they're
astronomical.
not
Class
attracting
A.
mom and pops.
Right.
They're attracting chains that have the money to be in there. So
Yeah, you're totally right about that. How about this to you? Blue Moon Diner, West Main, we all love that quarter.
Yeah,
we
we-
love that quarter because we know the people. We love the watering holes and the restaurants.
Yes,
we love
we
to
do.
walk downtown and midtown. Blue Moon Diner, a little bit behind schedule. We all can't wait for that to return.
Correct.
The apartments around Blue Moon Diner, I literally saw this online last week, starting at $2,100 for a studio.
yeah, it's not affordable. I'll tell
and
you
going
that.
to 3G for like a two-bedroom, two-bath, and a den.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to have demand there for that? You think that's no problem?
I think they're gonna get it.
You
I
think so?
really do. I think that because of the location of it, they are gonna get it. I would never pay it personally.
Right.
And we all just want Blue Moon back.
I want Blue Moon back.
Forget the apartments. Give us Blue Moon back.
Do you talk to the folks that are paying that price point and be like, dudes and dudettes, this is what you're paying for rent, and this is what a mortgage is?
Yeah, but
Do you
to get,
have that
but
conversation? Does it matter
yes.
to millennials?
Oh, we can teach a whole class on that subject. In my mind, that person is not the person who you're going to sway to buy a single-family home in Fluvanna.
I agree.
Like that, they want what they want, and they're willing to pay a premium for it, and that's fine. To each their own. If you work at the hospital or whatever, I don't blame you. If you work at the new, well, where the new the ice park was.
Yeah, where Code is.
Yes.
Yeah, the Center of Developing Entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to work there, you would probably be willing to pay that premium price for that apartment. You are not the client that I'm going to say, but for the same amount of money a month, you
Right.
can own a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath house here. They're just not the same client.
Neil, who's watching right
Yes.
now, has put this on the stream in the past, the missing middle. The missing middle in the
Yep.
real estate game, the millennials that are more interested in renting and have no interest in being homeowners. We're millennials.
Yep.
We own.
Yep.
Probably trending older on the millennial side, us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was going to say, I'm not even sure I qualify anymore.
You're like, what, 30?
21.
Okay, she's 21 years old.
I've just been 21 for a couple years now.
Missing middle. That topic to you,
So-
Rob. Or Rachel.
I just remember and many friends and past clients that came from the restaurant business 8 years ago, they were buying $220,000 modest single-family homes in Charlottesville. I mean, off of Rose Hill, off of Cherry, and I'm wondering if my friends are like, oh, she's talking about me. Oh, she's talking about me. They could buy for low 200s. They're not extravagant homes. They're 3-bedroom, 1-bath
homes.
ranchers,
Yeah.
but you could still find them. Now it's impossible. So Neil's absolutely right. There is this huge gap because where you used to be able to get in down in the low 200s, now you're looking at the low 300s.
That's right.
So all of my single friends who were trying to qualify for a mortgage by themselves could afford a $200,000 mortgage by themselves. And then as the prices have gone up, it's couples that are ending up buying houses because they can't afford a $300,000 mortgage by themselves. It's not an option. So he's absolutely right. There's a huge gap there.
He's adding to this. I'll throw Neil's comment to you. Neil Williamson just put this on the stream. Without the high-end product, buyers will buy lesser properties and dump a lot of money into it, further gentrifying the whole market.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that statement at all. I think he's 100% right.
By the way, if Neil says it, it's true.
Well, Neil's
'cause Neil's brilliant.
Extremely intelligent. He absolutely is. So what the hell are we going to do? Just say go to Louisa, go to Orange, go to Green, go to Culpeper?
In my perfect world, I don't think that's the answer. I think in practicality, that's pretty much the answer, is we need to go find you something outside of this hub to do it. But, I mean, I would like to see some things go into place where I think the city of Charlottesville has a lot of really good ideas going on,
Yeah.
right, with new construction and tied to affordable housing. I think in a lot of cases it's too easy for people to write a check and get out of that responsibility.
That's true.
And then I agree. I think once we deal with the affordable issue, we need to focus on that middle structure. And we talked infrastructure before on the social level, and that needs to happen in housing as well. You have to have the lower end, you have to have the higher end, and you have to have a middle.
Yeah.
That's how that works. And without the middle, you have a problem.
How do you see the condo game impacting things? Condos in general. Lower price point.
It is a
Sometimes
lower,
difficult to get the qualifying and difficult to sell.
correct, and it's a lower price point, but you also have to be really careful about the fees that are associated with a condo. So in your head,
HOAs?
I'm paying $190 for this condo, but you have normally an HOA fee and a condo fee in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So even though your original mortgage payment's lower, by the time you're done paying all the fees, you should have just gotten the $250,000 or $300,000 house, and that. You just have to be careful when you're doing that. I think condos are great for specific people. I don't think it's necessarily the best solution for the general population.
Same question for you.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited to see what the condo game does, because Charlottesville's never been a condo-centric type of place. So I'm excited to see some of these new products actually be built and see if it does help close some of the gaps.
Because it solves the density issue.
It does solve the density issue. Yeah, and it keeps people living where they work, which is important. So I'm excited to see what happens as more complexes get built, and yeah.
Two neighborhoods I want to spotlight. Abby Guskin, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Give it a like, give it a share. Any comments you want to relay to Rachel or Rob, happy to. Bo says you rock, by the way, Rob. Okay, he's giving you some
Wait,
props
Bo
right
said
now.
that?
Bo said that. He goes,
Bo,
Rob
where's
rocks.
my love?
Well, he already gave you some love. He says
Okay.
you rock. Two neighborhoods I want to spotlight because I think they're, if I was doing a private equity fund, and I do some real estate investing, not as much as the people that you guys work with, but if I had some serious deep private equity, I would target three areas. I would target Fifeville, I would target the Star Hill neighborhood, and I would target the Orangedale Prospect neighborhood. The Orangedale neighborhood, you can get side-by-sides, duplexes, right?
Two attached units, yeah.
Yeah, is that a duplex? Yeah, so you can get those from, say, $100 to
So
like
they're
180.
They're selling as individual units most of the
Right.
time.
Okay.
So you can buy
Right.
half of it for
Half
less
of it?
than 200.
Less than
That's right.
200.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
and if you got them both, and it's rare to get both because both don't often go on the market at the same time.
That's correct.
But
Unless
I think
they're already owned by an investor.
by an investor,
Yes.
someone could go in there and buy like 10,
Yeah.
Sure.
and then create a whole new neighborhood. Thoughts on that topic right there? Isn't that going to happen eventually?
So yes, the answer is of course it will. It's in Charlottesville.
Right. And it's close to Wegmans. It's close to the mall.
That's right.
Yeah. I completely agree with your neighborhoods. You've done this. You know what you're doing. You picked three really good neighborhoods because they are still
Central.
Yes, they're still central, but they're still
Low price
growing,
point.
evolving. Exactly.
That's
So I think that you've identified some good options.
What do you think?
No, I agree with the neighborhoods that you picked. I think that's spot on. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Prospect subdivision, because I don't disagree with you. But the struggle is to get both units,
Right.
Right, because if your unit needs a roof and the other neighbor's not in a position to do it, if theirs starts failing, it just comes over into yours. So we're going to revisit that risk-reward type thing. There is a great reward to be had there, but it also comes with an inherently larger risk if you can't get both units.
How do you have that conversation? How do you work alongside investors, flipper, construction? How does that work, the dynamic? I'd love to learn and get educated here.
Well, I think on that one, I mean, there are very, very few individuals, in my opinion, that have the money to go buy enough of that to basically change it themselves. That might be something where you get a conglomerate together and see if you can pool money and start picking your pocket and see what you can do from there.
Is it easy from a zoning standpoint? Would you have to change the zoning, or is it already zoned? If it's zoned for duplex, is it zoned perhaps for single family, detached?
So you really shouldn't have to change the zoning because it doesn't sound like, at least so far in our conversation, that we're going to change anything about the aspect of it. So you wouldn't have to worry about zoning at all.
Yeah.
You're really just looking at how can I fix this up? How can I make this more desirable, and go from there.
I love it. I love it. Brian Moon, welcome to the show. Gilly Garth, welcome to the show. Give it a like, give it a share on any of the streams that you guys are watching. A lot of folks watching right now. I'll give you some props. Hello, Jeff Gaffney. Thank you for joining us here on the I Love CVille show. We're an hour in. You guys have crushed it.
We haven't talked about my favorite subject.
The restaurants. I was just going to go to it.
Good.
Since we have more time here, we can go restaurants.
Fantastic.
All right. How about this question for you? Tough question.
Oh, gosh.
Tough question. It's not that tough. You're going to crush it. Is Charlottesville over restaurant-fied? Are there too many restaurants in Charlottesville?
And my answer, no.
No? Because we
bring
love
'em.
them.
They better be good, but
Yeah.
bring them on.
Yeah. How does it
yeah.
impact it as a businesswoman? You're just saying the cream rises to the top?
Absolutely.
That's right,
Charlottesville appreciates good food. Charlottesville appreciates good service. Charlottesville, we love our restaurants. We absolutely love you all.
Yep.
Nikki Foyle says, I love you, Rob and Rachel. She's
And
watching right now.
I know that
Her
she's been
restaurant's
on the
crushing
show.
it.
Yeah,
Let's
no
give her some
limits.
props right now. She's watching. And she's getting into financing.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CNF.
Yeah, she's
CNF.
trying to
Yeah.
give me a heart attack. Yeah, she just started with CNF Mortgage. She just came to her first Young Professionals Network event last week. I am very proud of her. Nikki will kill
She's gonna
anything that
crush-
she
oh, 100%.
does.
Oh, yeah.
It is Nikki. She is a force to be reckoned with.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yep.
So much props for you, Nikki, on the show. You're welcome anytime. Nothing but respect and love for your hard work and your vision and your courageousness and your willingness to take risks. Love all of that stuff. Restaurants, amigo. Talk to us about restaurants in Charlottesville. Too many restaurants in Charlottesville?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And I agree with what she was talking about. The culture here really supports that, right? And you could really see it during restaurant week because people turn out, and that's awesome. That doesn't necessarily happen everywhere. So my brother's in Las Vegas right now, and it's their restaurant week.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand why it's even happening. Like,
Really? Why, 'cause
did
it's
you wish
dead?
it? It's dead as well. Vegas standard, yeah.
Okay.
Right. But that might also have to do with gambling and all the other kind of stuff. And I don't know. But yeah, we were talking to him yesterday actually, and he was actually kind of disappointed because even in Manassas, he feels like it's a much bigger thing than what's going on in Vegas. And I like that in Charlottesville.
What's your number one? Both of your number ones. Okay, how about a top five?
Okay. Yeah,
That
I
way-
really like
way
that
you
option.
Can, you can be safe.
Can I go
Yeah,
first so
top
that
five.
he can pick all our favorites that I didn't pick?
There you go.
Does that work?
So this is like a top 10 together for you.
There you
guys.
go. I like it. So Aberdeen Barn is definitely on there. We probably eat at
Angela's the best.
Angela is
Oh, yeah.
amazing. We probably eat there at least 2 nights a week. It's close to our house. and
Two
it is-
nights a week.
Oh, yeah.
Ballers
Yeah.
over here.
That's-
Or are you getting the hookup?
It's our home.
Little bit of
It
both?
is our home away
Okay,
from
okay,
home.
I won't ask that question.
We are there all the time, and we love them. They're very good to us. So that's always on the list. Parallel 38 is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah. We know pretty much their entire staff.
Okay.
And,
Small plates, tapas?
Yeah, small plates. Great. I mean, that's one of those places for us. We walk in the door and our drinks are already on the bar for
right.
us. They take such good care of us.
The old Latois?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Mangione's on Main, which
Yeah.
friends of ours, Bert and Elena, just purchased.
The
It's
old
the
Bellas?
Old Bellas.
Yeah.
They've already done a charity event for AHIP for me, in which I bartended. It was awesome.
Nice.
I'm actually bartending there for another charity event on Thursday night. So if you want to see me sling a drink, come say
That's
hi.
for Quentin, right?
It's for Quentin
Yeah.
Beckham's, fundraiser, Trex.
Okay. You like Midtown.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, we're gonna say Lampo and Prime. Mitch
course.
is one of our very close friends. We love Lampo and Prime. We were supposed to go to Prime last night, and we had our plans canceled.
How's Prime doing?
Yasmin.
Is Prime doing well?
Prime is doing great.
Yeah?
They really are.
Good.
They're doing
Prime
wonderful.
109 in the old Bank of America building on the downtown mall. Mitchell Barons and I worked together also at Ruby Tuesdays, circa 2000
Very
to
nice.
2005. He's the man.
All right. What else? So I got it. I mean, No Limits. We already did
Of
a
course.
shout out.
Yep.
But I will say Yannick is killing it.
Yeah, he's got talent.
For sure. I mean, I'm a Bodo's girl like crazy, but who in this town isn't?
And Bizou.
And Bisou.
We go there
love
often with your
Bisou.
mom.
I get a lot of heat for this statement. Are you not surprised that there's not another bagel joint in Charlottesville?
They can't
You're saying they cannot beat Bodo,
There
so why
was.
try?
By the way,
Chesapeake Bagel.
Bakery
And Barracks Road.
was in Barracks Road.
In
I
Barracks
actually
Road.
knew the owners, or I know the owners of that one. But they were the only game that lasted for any period of time, and they were in there for a couple years. Barracks Road is a tough one, though.
That's a tough one.
Because you have to have foot traffic.
Right. That's
right.
People do not go there to go to lunch.
So are you
It's a
not
nightmare.
surprised, though? You're like, there's no way in hell?
You can't compete. So I did this crazy thing about 1.5 years ago, and I
Okay.
decided I was not going to order the same Bodo's order for a year.
Okay.
When you order
mixed it up every time?
every single time I order
Baller.
something different. It's very stressful.
It's an ordering
very
nightmare.
stressful. It
Yeah?
takes me
Oh,
like
it's
35 minutes to figure out my Bodo's order. Yeah. So, but I love Bodo's.
I love
What
Bodo's,
else do we
too.
love?
Are you not surprised there's not another bagel company? You're a businessman.
Honestly, I'm really not.
No?
If they would please put one on 29 North, I would very much appreciate it.
Well, they did.
It's like,
No, I need further north.
Oh, further north.
need
Gotcha.
further north.
Gotcha.
Further north.
Gotcha.
yeah. But I mean, even when something happens in their store, they always seem to handle it the right way. They just do everything so right that
Customer service
I don't
is
think you've
good.
got wiggle room for somebody to come in and trip over their own feet for a couple of months. They would literally have to come in and crush it
From
to
day one.
compete with Bodo's. Yeah.
That's a good call. Who do we miss? Restaurants that you guys like. These guys are like Mr. and Mrs. Restaurant here in Charlottesville. I mean, how are you guys eating out 5 nights a week?
Well,
Yeah.
quite often.
Yeah.
It depends
Yeah,
on our
e-
schedule.
Either or we'll go out and have a drink and take food home.
Right.
So
I love
yes.
doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of our MO. Another one we didn't say is Dooners.
Dooners
Oh,
is the
Dooners
best.
is
Laura's killing
awesome.
it.
Laura
Yeah.
Fauner is the best.
So I've known Laura since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. She was my sister's best friend. So she grew up in my house.
Get
That
out.
girl is slaying it.
yeah. And she works her ass off
She
right
does.
there.
She's in Italy right now.
She is.
I'm
on
so
a vacation.
good for her.
She watches the show all the time. I love Laura Fauner. Are you missing any?
The pork over at Oakhart is
Oh, yep.
unbelievably good.
We do love some Oakhart.
Yep.
What quarter has the best restaurants in Charlottesville?
I'm sorry.
What quarter? What area? What little
It's
section?
Midtown. It's obviously
It's in
Midtown.
Midtown, and
It's
Midtown is
Midtown.
beating
Midtown's
downtown,
doing a
right?
really good job.
Yeah.
You know, it's downtown.
is crushing it.
Downtown is just more of a commitment with the parking and everything.
And the
So-
rents are higher.
Yeah. Well, and that too.
So we go Midtown, do you say downtown too? How do you see the Belmont jumping in the mix? Belmont's it's a good.
I mean, we go to Cicchetti quite a bit.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
bar.
Tavola?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We
Okay.
love their cocktails.
Best cocktail.
We love their
Is that-
cocktails.
is that-
And yes. So
Your
I'm,
best cocktail?
I am a whiskey girl. I drink neat whiskey with a glass of rosé.
Okay.
I will order a cocktail.
Double
there.
fisted?
Double fisting.
God,
Oh yeah, like a pro. Like a pro.
Neat whiskey with a glass of rosé.
Mitch
What are
Behrens
you?
has that
You're
order,
brown
too.
liquor.
I am, yeah, whiskey all the way. Whiskey
Okay.
bourbon.
What's your favorite place for a cocktail?
Ooh.
For a drink.
I think I don't normally do mixed drinks.
Okay.
Right. I think my favorite place to get drinks like that is the Aberdeen Barn, and in large part because I can walk them through exactly how I want it.
You guys sit at the bar?
Oh yeah.
Always.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Unless
Wait.
it's a special event.
We're almost
Yeah.
always bar sitters. We prefer that over a table.
Any day.
Right.
So you got 3 steak joints. Well, you had 2 steak joints that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And prime in the barn.
We like red meat.
I like red meat as well. You guys crush
we
the
we
show.
do love to cook though. I know it sounds like we eat
Yep.
out constantly, but when we cook, the reason that we probably eat out so much is because we don't do anything easy in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's right.
Every time we cook,
Well,
it
and you're working
is.
your ass off.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But it's an event, So we take 3 hours to cook dinner when we cook at home.
How about breakfast?
We don't eat breakfast.
No breakfast?
No, neither. Coffee?
No?
Coffee?
Just coffee.
Coffee.
How about lunch?
Bodo's.
Well, and one of the sad things is one of our favorite places to go for lunch was Rhett's.
Yeah, we went to
And-
Rhett's all the
and
time.
they're
Reds is
closed.
opening again, though.
Yeah, but
In Zion's Crossroads.
after
Right,
he
right.
builds, though, it's going to be a year off or whatever.
They screwed Red.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we're not
They
happy
did.
about that one.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate.
That
We
is
we
unfortunate.
love their lunch.
It was a perfect for lunch. It
Yeah.
was perfect. It was a great sandwich. It was quick. Yeah.
Final
really
question
sad
for you.
that's closing.
Your best meal in Charlottesville.
Ooh.
So
Straight up meal.
I have a favorite dish.
Okay, that counts.
Lampo has a special that they run that Mitch created, and it's the hamachi collar. It's almost like a fried. Oh my God, it's so good. Has kind of an Asian influence in it. It's one of my favorite dishes of all time, and I'll make it a meal. And if they have their cannoli, it makes me weak in the knees.
yeah.
I will go there. Mitch is supposed to text me when they have the cannoli. I will go there
Weak in
just
the
for that.
knees.
Yeah.
Cannoli.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, she loves it.
Yeah,
You won't believe how far out of our way we'll go when she gets that text from Mitch.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
Oh,
all
oh,
about
it-
the cannoli.
it's
Did they
nuts.
just introduce a $5 bar menu?
At Prime.
Yeah, at
I have
Prime.
not experienced that yet, but yes, they introduced a new like bar
After
menu.
10.
Yep.
Mitch, Lauren, you guys are crushing it
Yeah.
over there.
The whole crew over there is
Oh, they're ballers.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're great.
They are.
They are ballers, and it's two very opposite concepts that are working extremely
Mm-hmm.
well. Rob Alley, I'm going to close on that note.
So I think it's going to come down to the best meal I've ever had in Charlottesville
Yeah,
was opening night at Prime 109.
really?
It's great.
That steak, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go out and order a $100 steak.
I was gonna say, what'd you guys drop,
nights
3
a
bills?
week.
4 bills?
I think it was higher than that.
Nice!
Yeah, we went hard.
But we also had a larger table with
Yeah.
us. It
Gotcha.
wasn't just the two of us dropping that kind of money.
Okay.
But that was probably the best meal I've ever had in Charlottesville. I think on a more regular, there's 2 at Parallel 38.
Ooh, tell me about that.
When Johnny Garver makes that lamb dish.
Johnny Garver's watching right now.
Hi, Johnny.
Look at that. Johnny Garver's watching,
That's
literally
awesome.
watching right now.
We love you.
He makes a lamb dish that is absolutely to die for.
The Boden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You can ask him what
that
it's
thing
called.
is
What's
good.
what? Ask him. He's watching.
Hey Johnny, tell us what the dish is real quick,
The
buddy.
lamb dish with the bone sticking out of it.
Yep.
It's delicious.
Oh, it's amazing. And their hero is
Oh yeah.
it's
And super affordable.
you
They have like
wouldn't
a
expect
chicken
it.
and a I don't know, a vegetable one. They're phenomenal, but the spicy chicken is so good.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. GR says, go Rachel and Rob.
Hi,
Love you
GR.
guys.
Love
buddy.
you.
Pam O'Brien giving you some props. Thanks, guys. You are the best. Is from Johnny Garver. Johnny, we're going to stay on air until you tell us what the name of that dish is. Johnny Garver.
I like it. I like
Johnny,
it.
you did so well. All right, final question for you. Let's give some props, and you can both answer this. Props for the business. How could people work alongside you guys if they want to work alongside you guys? How do they contact you? What are you guys going to do for them? Anywhere you want to go on this time. We got a lot of folks watching.
Hit it.
well, there's a number of ways to do it. Obviously, we're available email, cell phones. We've set up a Google Voice number that goes to
Brings to both of us.
Brings to both of us. And we've been talking with people. We're gonna build a brand new website,
Nice.
which I think is going to be good. That's
It's a
going to
no-brainer.
focus on branding the two of us specifically.
He really just wants to use my mugshot instead of his because he thinks it will help him get more business.
yeah.
So
It's a nice looking headshot, Rachel Burns. And Rob, you're looking sharp yourself.
Thank
She
you.
sent us the photos.
Actually, Benos took those. Benos
Yeah, he
from
did.
Moss took
From Moss.
those.
Really?
Yeah,
He
he
did.
killed it for
He's a
us.
photographer?
Yep.
Benos is a man of so many talents. It's not even funny.
Is Benos the guy whose picture's hanging on the wall where he's like looking like the luchador?
Yes.
That's, Yeah, he's a nice person.
Yeah. Benos is amazing. He's great.
He's a nice
Yeah,
person.
he also has like a clothing brand too. It's insane.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
he's
says,
awesome.
Rob, braised lamb shank over pointed basmati rice with
Oh, yeah.
pistachios and dates.
Yep.
Parallel 38.
It's so
it's
good.
money.
That's
so
Rob
good.
Alley's favorite dish. Look at that. You're getting on that. Your headshot's getting on the screen. We're hearing the GQ Rob Alley right
There
now.
you go.
The show in totality will be archived on ilovecville.com. These two are freaking rock stars. This was the easiest 70 minutes ever. We were just shooting the shit about restaurants and real estate in Charlottesville, things that we love inside and out. Give it a like, give it a share if you're watching. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
this
thank
was
you.
fun.
Thank you, bud.
Good. We close the show the same way every single time. We ask everybody to embody the golden rule. We don't make it about religion. We just make it about treating other people with the respect that you want to be treated yourself. It's the golden rule. Charlottesville needs it more than ever. And the golden rule, the golden rule, and the golden rule. Enjoy your afternoon. It's the I Love CVille Show. Tomorrow, I think I'm doing a roundtable discussion with the new president of the Chamber of Commerce. And talking business positively on the program. Enjoy your afternoon, guys. Take care. Good work. It was fun.
That was great.
Yeah, it was so easy.
That was great.
Yeah.
Really like that.
Good work.
I think
One more thing. We're going to take a photo. We call it the hero shot
Okay.
for the package.